Warning. This video may contain graphic language, graphic violence, gross cartoon penises, and a whole lot of Pimpy the pimp-ass pimp showing motherfuckers what's up. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Alrighty. So I've played a couple of these videos from the Spirit Box. I don't mind sharing them with you. I'm not trying to force people to have an opinion one way or another. If you're a person who is against it, then just don't listen to the video. So let's go through the comments over the last two videos, because some of you got some good ones, and see if we can squash any concerns that people might have. Okay, so let's start off with the one with Robin Williams. I believe Robin Williams is hands down the greatest actor of all time, and there's a reason for that. He is a great talent, and it's really sad that he's gone. But I shared that video because if you listen to Robin on the other side, it actually sounds like him. Just listen to how Robin talks.
He's a fascinating guy. I mean, he's kind of a quiet ego among large egos. That was his whole role during World War II, dealing with Montgomery, Churchill.
You hear the tone, you hear Robin in this, and then you go to something like this.
It was like the hemisphere of my whole life. I just thought, why did you do it? Why did you do it, Ronnie?
He's a fascinating guy. I mean, he's kind of a quiet ego among large egos.
I'm not trying to convince people that it is or is not Robin Williams. I was sharing it because, in my opinion, it sounds like him. That's the other thing that was impressive, because when you listen to different sessions, not all of the people that come through have the ability to come through so clear. So when I heard it, I thought, wow, you can actually hear Robin's voice. And that's one of the reasons why I shared his session. Robin was amazing, not just acting, but stand-up comedy. I'm not into celebrity worship, but it's a real bummer that he's passed. Yeah, there's no doubt that he's a once-in-a-generation talent. I'm not into celebrity worship, but that doesn't mean you can't be a fan or an admirer of a person's talent. Robin Williams is the greatest actor in the world, hands down. He's amazing. Yeah, absolutely. That's my opinion. Thank you for this posting. I appreciate the commentary. I appreciate you guys chiming in. I figured I've followed long enough to appreciate, and I do the same by sharing you on TG. So my apologies, I'm not sure what TG is. Ask questions, ask for resources. At this point, freedom is in the hands of each of us to think freely for ourselves. Loved Robin Williams. My gal pal C went to college with him. Oh wow, I bet you that would be awesome. He was known to stand on tables in a cafe, rich in humor like no others. Loves and hugs my brethren. Loved the frank journey. Nothing like opening a box. I appreciate it. Love you, Pimpy. That wasn't Robin Williams. The box said Robin, not Robin Williams. When he gave himself the title of Spirit Box Practitioner, fake. I think people have this misconception that practitioner is related mostly to doctors. That's not what he's talking about. It's like a person that is mastering the art of, is the best way to put it. And no, he didn't say it was Robin Williams, but I could tell by his voice. And not just that, there's a time in the video in which he's talking, and you can hear his mom in the back. They're talking about some of the things they were reminiscing, as a matter of fact, here.
Well, I mean, this is an old news. Oh, yeah. Okay.
He said that he's catching up with his mom. His mom died in 2001, I believe, and he died in 2014. So they're just playing catch up. They hang around, talk to one another. But he said they were just reminiscing on some old memories. And she said, remember the movie that you were in? He said, oh, yeah, Flubber. They were talking about the movie Flubber. Robin Williams was in the movie Flubber. So although he might have not have said Williams, between the sound of his voice and reminiscing about his movie Flubber, I'm pretty sure it's Robin Williams. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, not everybody is going to embrace this. Not everybody's going to think it's real. It's not force you guys to believe it's real. No, that's not what I'm doing. I just thought I would share some interesting things with you, and you guys could take with it what you will. Pimp, what's the name of the dude's channel so I can check some more spiritual box goodies? So his name is Cody ITC. So if you want to look him up, that's who he is right there. If you guys leave a comment, tell him Pimpy sent you. So yeah, his name is Cody ITC. Check him out. I'm pretty adverse to talking to spirits. Even the Bible is against that. But listening to this, I'd be inclined to believe that was Robin Williams. Hope you're right about where people go after suicide, Pimpy. My brother was a good man, but sometimes life happens. Even Cody, when he's doing his sessions, he tells you he has no way of knowing 100% if the person that is talking to him is who they say they are. You can make up your own decisions, but for me, I like listening to sessions in which they're talking about like the things they see around them. Like Gabriel saying that the new heaven and the new earth are finished. About a couple years ago, I woke up out of my sleep. I felt like the entire earth shook. I felt it. I knew there was something different. It was like a spiritual boom. When I woke up, I turned to Jesus and said, what the heck was that? Felt the entire earth shake. This isn't an earthquake, but the whole earth. He goes, yes. And I said, not just that, but I also know that God is personally coming here. I could feel him. So when I woke up, I felt right away that God was approaching. I know people go, well, God's everywhere. He's this, he's that. No, this is different, way different. And when I mentioned it to Jesus, he said, yeah, God is personally coming to handle what the heck is going on here. So when I have a chance to listen to some of the sessions, just listening to the words I think are interesting, and it allows me to take time to reflect on what was heard. Having said that, there's more than one individual that Cody has spoke to that has committed suicide, and they have found peace on the other side. What was making me depressed, when you're listening to the different sessions, sometimes you will hear people who are in hell come through on the box and have sessions. And it's depressing because for me, I feel bad for them. You can get mad at people, you can dislike somebody, but I definitely wouldn't wish on anybody to suffer for eternity. That's really heartbreaking. When they were talking about saving people from hell, and I was like, could we do that? That seems impossible. But then I went ahead and called up Doc. He is a Bible thumper. And in addition to that, I did my own research into this. Come to find out, when we pass away from this earth and we go to the other side, it's encouraged to try to save people. I thought that was interesting because that's not the impression that I had. So one, the impression I always got from churches, if you committed suicide, you automatically went to hell. Some religions believe that, other religions don't. So which one's right and which one's wrong? I'm not here to pass judgment on anybody's religion, but I'm saying there's over 6,000 different religions in this world, some of them way older than Christianity. I was just feeling depressed about it, and I was wondering if they could be saved, and so I looked into it, and I've been reflecting on it. So you can take that information whatever way you want to, but I'm not trying to preach to people. I'm just sharing information that I have. If it brings solace to people, well, then I'm grateful. If there's people out there who get all triggered and upset about it, that's not my intentions. Actually, what was all the wicked laughing at the end? It sounded like the demon laughing mockingly. It sounded a little like Williams to me, but not that much. They have to use a lot of energy just to come through the box, and sometimes they're very clear. You can hear them. I've been around Robin personally, so I know his voice. And I said, oh, that definitely sounds like him. That's just my opinion. Laughing in the background, sometimes what happens is during sessions, you can be having polite conversations with somebody, and you will have people who are impatient. You will have demons that will try to interrupt, and they will talk over you. There are a long line for people to use these devices. I know that I know that Edison had created a way to do it. It's been around for a long time. For some reason, when I say, I don't like using the word spirits. It doesn't sound right to me. Let's just call people who've crossed over. That sounds better than spirits for some reason. I think that's what it is. People hear spirits and it gives a negative aura about it. There's something about spirits, So sorry. That word does drive me crazy too. So when they're talking with people on the other side, you will have things interrupting and making weird noises. In my opinion, spirit box are fruitful. Demons know every detail. No holy rollers are not told suicide is automatic hell. God is good and just, and it's his judgment. I can just hear you snickering behind the cameras. Oh God, here come. See, this is what I'm talking about right there. First of all, I'm not behind the cameras. I'm in front of the cameras. Second of all, I don't mock holy rollers or Bible thumpers. Like I said, there's a level of admiration I have for the discipline that it takes for them to constantly read the Bible over and over and over. I don't have those patience. Holy rollers are just people who are conditioned and have strong belief in the religions. For me, I don't believe in any man-made religion at all. I have my own relationship with God. I have my own relationship with Jesus. Thank you so much for this, Pimpy. I do believe and would love more videos on this. I've been listening to you for quite a few years now. Thanks for keeping things grounded. Thank you. Love this, and you and your background and attitude and resources make you the perfect person to deliver these messages. Real talk. Robert, I appreciate that. There's a friend of mine. If he was here and he could read that comment, he would second that. He's a man of very strong spiritual beliefs. Ever since we met, he said he'd been drawn to me spiritually. He couldn't understand why. He said, God definitely has some strong plans for you. It took me a long, long time to talk to people about the relationship they have with God and Jesus. You got to understand that growing up, it wasn't easy. I had people make fun of me. I've had church leaders chastise me and put me down for claiming that I had a relationship with God and Jesus. I've been open to talking about some things, but just understand that when you build a relationship with God and Jesus, that's your personal relationship. You will get lessons and have lessons when you have conversations with them. And just understand that the interpretation and that the meaning that you get from these lessons is for you and you only. I'm sure I told you guys a story, but I had this big falling out with the church leader, and I was cussing up a storm, and Jesus was like, calm down. You guys are saying the same thing. I was like, what are you talking about? No, I'm not. I was so mad about what he was saying. And he said, look, stop for 2 seconds, calm down. He says, think about what you're saying, think about what he's saying. And it took me a minute or two. And I said, how did I miss this? He goes, you two are on different spiritual levels. He has one type of understanding. You have a different understanding. You guys are both talking about the same thing, but our levels of understanding are different. And that can cause problems between people. Like I said, I'm not trying to force any beliefs on you. What I'm saying to you is sharing an idea or sharing an opinion with you. I'm not trying to force anything on you. I understand that people have different interpretations, and some people are so convicted in their beliefs that they could be very un-Christian-like. Fascinating. Thank you, Pimpy. Be safe, my friend. More, please. Yes. And the same to you all. This was all released 7+ years ago. I'm happy to see this all out in the light today. I am on a lot of blacklists for this knowledge. Lost a lot of family and friends, but grateful for what was once deemed a curse that's now an advantage. Thank you. You're very welcome. Yeah, you know, that's going to happen. As you grow spiritually, you will lose friends and sometimes family members, unfortunately. Oh, that was a really good one. Loved it. Do more like this. I will. I felt the guy who wanted Cody to pray for him was frustrated when Cody didn't pray, but went on to ask questions. I caught that too. Cody saying that he couldn't pray for him because it was Cody's belief that there was nothing he could do for the gentleman who felt stuck where he was in hell. He felt like he couldn't do anything. But that didn't mean that Cody couldn't pray for the man. Cody certainly could have prayed for the man. So what is Jude 1:23? And others saved with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garment spotted by the flesh. But there's other scriptures as well. Does somebody build and sell these machines, or at the very least, is there a kit or a schematics? Yes, sir, there is. Look up Spirit Box for those who have passed away, something like that. I've seen them out there. I think Amazon actually has them. Pimpy, I have to tell you that when I first started listening to you 3.5 years ago and I first heard your voice, I knew it immediately. I felt like I knew you in another lifetime. I know it is not from this lifetime or realm, but I know I was connected to you in the past. Just wanted to share that with you. Thank you for all you do. I appreciate your channel. I appreciate that. There are times when I'm talking with Jesus and we're going over lessons. We're talking about things in general. And it can be confusing during the lessons because my understanding of what is being said is different than the way Jesus is putting it. Let me explain what I'm talking about. I remember having a conversation about Judas and Jesus, and Jesus said, oh yeah, Judas was my life partner. And it stopped me dead in my tracks because our understanding today of a life partner is somebody who's in a gay relationship, but that's not what Jesus was saying. He was saying that they were souls who traveled together in a lifetime. So, I was like, what do you mean? I'm not ready for this lesson. The use of that term today is for people who are usually in a gay relationship. So he's like, no, that's not what I mean. The other misinterpretation was the term soulmates. There is a group of souls that you guys all agree to go through all these different lives together. So I understand already before we get started, there are people out there who do not believe in resurrection or multiple lives. I'm just sharing my story and you don't have to believe in it. But those people that you choose to have all these experiences with, they're called soulmates. And to give you a perfect example of a soulmate, you ever meet somebody for the first time? You've never met them before, but there's just something about them. As you're talking to them, you felt like you've known them forever. That's a soulmate, believe it or not. I remember having a conversation with Alicia Keys, and we were talking about classical music and going on and on about it. My friend goes, wow, you guys look like your best friends. She goes, oh my God. She grabbed me by my arm. She goes, I feel like I've known this guy my whole life. You know, soulmates feel that way when they run into one another. Sure, you might only see them for a few minutes, but there's something about that connection. And usually that connection has to do with the fact that you do know each other. You just can't remember it in this lifetime. So whether you guys believe in that or not, that's that's up to you. Well, interesting. How about checking out X22 report next box checked? I'd love to hear your opinion. Thanks for keeping it real. I've had many requests from people asking me to review X22 videos. The guy's name's Dave. I'll do that. I understand that sometimes he does go down to wackadoodle land, but a lot of times he is grounded. So yeah, that's something I could do. Your channel is getting more interesting. Good. I appreciate that. I've seen how these spirit box devices work to communicate with the living. They use handheld radios with certain frequencies to manipulate the responses within the device. Makes for good entertainment though. Well, in Cody's case, he isn't holding anything in his hands. He just has it out there. I've seen spirit boxes in which the person's communicating. If you ever seen the movie Transformers and you listen to Bumblebee, the way he talks by using different words from different songs, that's what this device did. And I thought that was weird. But again, it's not for me to tell you to believe in it or not. I get it. It's not for everybody. But as far as Cody is concerned, could he be manipulating it? Sure, he could. I mean, there's all kinds of software out there. He could be faking the whole thing. But for me, there's something I get out of it. I guess the best way to explain it is this way. God reaches people in different ways. So whether or not it's fake, it doesn't matter. If people are listening to it and they're getting something from it, it's doing what it's supposed to do. I hope that makes sense. I close my eyes to listen, I think is what you're trying to put here. If the words weren't written most of the time, I would never understand. How is he figuring it out? Oh, so you're talking about when you see that he's added the words in the video. So what Cody has to do is after he has his sessions, he has to go back and listen to the recording with his headset on and listen to it several times. And then sometimes he misses the words when they're first being said. You'll hear him say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. I'll go back and listen to it. That's where the words come from. He understands that if he's missing it or he is having a hard time understanding, so are you. So he spends the time to go back with the headset and listen to it and then put the words on there for you. Planet X will cross over the Earth twice and form a cross. Once in October of this year and the other in April of the next year. I think he talks about it possibly being a portal that could take people up. So we know there's an event that's going to happen on April 4th. They didn't say the year, but I do remember a session when somebody just blurted out in the background, 2027. He goes, 2027, what was that for? I'm wondering if they're just randomly responding to the year for this major event that's supposed to happen. So that's why I said I think it's April 4th, 2027, but I could be wrong. If I could talk to my son and other family members, I definitely would. If you believe in God and it's a spiritual, not demonic, I think it's just fine, in my own opinion. Here's the thing, Liz, that's crazy. When I died and I crossed over, you're greeted by family members first. I remember talking to my cousin, and I said, we made a promise to each other that if one of us passed away, then you would try to talk to the other person. He said, do you understand that us on this side are around you all the time? I said, what do you mean all the time? He goes, like all the time? And I was like, oh, wait, what? Oh, all the time? He's like, yeah. He goes, we talk to you, you just don't hear us. I don't want to mislead anybody or people to misinterpret what I'm trying to say. People do have the ability to communicate. When people say, oh, you must be special, you talk to God or you talk to Jesus, I go, no, I don't like when people say that because that's not true. Everybody out there, every single one of you have the ability to do it. That's why I'm encouraging people, build your own relationship with God. If you start talking to them every day like they're standing right next to you, for long, you'll start hearing them talk back. The same thing with loved ones. They're there. You can talk to them. And I don't mean in a freaky meditation, talking to the spirits kind of way. I'm talking more along the lines of somebody that you really love and care about, a family member, even best friends. If you really miss them, just sit down, be somewhere quiet. Just start talking. I think you'd be surprised. You just have to remove all of the things that are blocking you from doing it, and not just sounds and stuff. Make sure in a quiet place, make sure that you removed any mental blocks, and just tell yourself, I'm going to be receptive to this, and just sit down in silence. It might not work the first time. It might not work the second time. Heck, you might not be able to get it to work at all. But I believe if you are sincere about it, then loved ones will reach out to you. Sorry, Pimpy, out of bounds. As a Christian, we are not to communicate to the dead. I heard that before, but that's not actually the truth. If you read the Bible, it says you're not to use mediums or necromancer to communicate to the dead on your behalf. It also says when you're communicating with the spirits, if you do it enough, it helps you to determine whether the person you're talking to is a bad person or a good person. There are some religions out there, it's okay, some that are not. And I understand that everybody in the religion believes that their religion is the right religion and everybody else is going somewhere else. But I have a different belief and I respect yours. And I understand that you feel that way and where that might come from. And I also understand that this is not for everybody. I'm told that the military has destroyed the majority of these bases. That's what I was told, just passing it on. So you're talking about the deep underground military bases. Yeah, I heard that rumor as well. But I'm more than positive it's going to come from one of those wackadoodles out there that also tell people that they've been working with Trump saving children out of the ground and that they sit on some team with Trump and they meet regularly. I'm pretty sure that's where the information is coming from, but I could be wrong. We know there are over, I think they said 700 of these shelters all around the world. Anyone know how to hear more from this guy? What's his name or channel? Cody ITC. Who is the guy, and are there any links to a website for him, please? Yeah, I will leave a link to his YouTube channel, and I think down below in the description he has links to other things that he has. Hebrews, and just as it is appointed for men to die once, and after that comes judgment. The elitists can hide in their bunkers all they want. In the end, there is no hiding from God. Yeah, that's true. As far as a person dying once, well, let me see if I could put it a separate way. So we know we die from this life, in this existence. But remember, when you go to stand in judgment, the dead are resurrected. And we stand before God for judgment. And then you die a second death. It is my understanding that when you hear the sessions, that if some of these people have already died, the second death, I might be wrong, but my understanding is then they're definitely going to the bad place. I have never played a show from Pimpy where there were this many commercials. Damn, seems like every 5 seconds. Is there? Sometimes they come through, sometimes they don't. So I don't control the commercials. That's YouTube, so my apologies. This guy is a fool to offer his energy. He could be given permission to be inhibited by a low frequency energy and entities. I think that's why when he's offering his energies, he says it the way he does. He says, I will offer my energy to you to use all you want. But if you are a negative energy, you do not have my permission. Anyways, I appreciate you guys chiming in. Look, I understand there are people out there who follow certain religions. The relationship with God is to constantly be seeking God. So if you're blocked off from other people's opinions because you don't like them, then I really do believe you are hurting a chance for spiritual growth. And like I said, I know some people aren't going to like that, but that's just my opinion. God comes to people in different ways. So if you feel comfortable reading Bible, then that's the way you're supposed to go. Okay, it's not my place or anybody else's place to tell you different. For me, I don't believe in any man-made religion. I believe in building my own relationship with God and being led by God personally, as well as Jesus. I'm not here to judge on anybody's religions or their scriptures. Everybody believes what they believe for a reason. I share my opinions with you. You are more than welcome to chime in on them and listen to what I'm saying, but I'm not trying to force a thought one way or another. You get from it what you want, take from it what you need, and then that's it. All right? Anyways, I appreciate you guys when you chime in. So go ahead and leave a comment if you want, and I will respond. I'll get back at you later. I'm out.